10 on the shot clock. Royce needs help, needs somebody. Locates Cunningham. 5 to shoot. Off to Ramey. Courtney with it. Going to fire a long contested three. God! Oh, a dagger there from Courtney Ramey. Knocks down the three. Texas up 7 with 2 minutes to play. Back on Longhorn Weekly with head coach Shaka Smart. Big shot from Courtney Ramey in the win over Texas Tech last Saturday in Lubbock. We'll have more on that coming up. Want to introduce you to our special guest. So normally we have Shaka do the introductions of his own players, members of the staff. I want to take this one if it's okay, because I got
yours, great.
Discovery. Here's a guy who played at the University of Texas from 2001 to 2004. He finished his UT career with 1,149 points and 1,077 rebounds, still second all time at Texas after Damian James broke the record. One of only 3 players, to reach both 1,000 points and 1,000 rebounds, with LaSalle Thompson and Damian James the others. Played in 134 career games, 28 career double-doubles. Please welcome James Thomas, who's with us now.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
That was terrific. It's good to see you, and folks who've come out of the games have seen you at games this season. And to let folks know, you reached out to the academic staff over the summer, right, about returning to campus to complete your degree?
Yeah, I felt like that was the main important thing. I have three beautiful children back at home, my oldest being 13, and I'm his role model. So I always tell him, you finish what you start. So I came down here in 2000. I was on a mission, and I didn't get an opportunity to finish, but now I'm coming back to finish.
You're still straight out of Schenectady, right?
Straight out of Schenectady, baby, always. That'll never change.
Yeah, and not only that, for folks who know, you were the first player I remember describing that played for the Longhorns. Now, you might not have been the first that ever did this, but the first I remember calling that played at Hargrave Military Institute, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What was that like?
It was a change for me. I needed that discipline and structure before I could move forward in my life. I knew if I'd have stayed the same person, coming down here to Texas, it wouldn't have been a good fit for me. So I knew I needed somebody. I needed that male structure, that male role model in my life.
Yeah, and Shaka, one thing we've seen, and we've talked about it when Kai Jones was here playing prep school basketball at Brewster, is that sometimes that extra year really does make a difference.
It's a great bridge for sure, because it's not obviously not the same as college, but it's also not the same as high school. You know, you're living away from home. You are dealing with some of the realities of being in the case of Hargrave. You know, it's a military type setup. It's not the same as a true naval academy or armed force, but it mimics that. Mm-hmm. So the discipline that you're put under, and then basketball wise, it's just a higher level. You're playing against better players, playing more games,
right.
You're traveling more. So it's again, there's high school, there's the Big 12 level of basketball, but then certainly in between that is prep school.
Yeah. Right. You returned to UT, and your last semester on campus was 2004. How difficult was that to say, look, I want to finish when I started, but just to be able to get back into the mindset of returning to college academically?
Well, for the fall semester, it took me until mid-semester just to get my feet
acclimated.
Yeah. I mean, it was a shock. Campus done grown. I'm in class. I'm 39 years old now, and I'm in class with babies, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm scratching my head every minute. But I adjust well. I never had a problem with adapting to my environment, and the challenge is real. It's real, especially working a full-time job and working overnight. My schedule is from 8 a.m. every morning to 3 in the afternoon. But just like I said, I have to get it done. Yeah. I have to get it done. It's a must.
And Shaq, I know you've always admired the academic side of people who could do this, who could come back after all these years to finish your degree.
It's unbelievably impressive because, remember, James has got a family back in New York. So you talk about a sacrifice that he's making, and he mentioned his son. He's making his sacrifice for his family. He's making the sacrifice for his future. And it's such a great lesson for our players. I try to get these guys to get outside of themselves and see, here's someone that was doing the exact same things that you're doing, except he was doing it better than you. And he had more success than you. And now then, we haven't talked about yet, a very long and winding pro career, which included the NBA, included multiple stops overseas, included the minor leagues here, included some coaching. And through all that, a desire to come back and finish what he started. And it's really impressive.
Toward that end, because of the path that James had taken, was that something where that's why you wanted him to visit with the team when you had and get to know the team? And for your side of it, James, what it meant to you to be able to go back and to share part of that?
It was amazing. I love the guys here. They do work hard. It took them a while just to grasp onto certain things. But I always told them it's not the start, it's the finish. And it seems like everybody's buying into their roles. Everybody's just doing their job, going out there having fun, which is the main thing in this game. And, everybody's doing what they have to do to help the University of Texas win basketball games. Yeah. And I just love it. I love it.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that I enjoy most currently is we have, as you know, the Texas Athletics Nutrition Center, which is one floor down from our office. So
the tank.
So sometimes I'll go down to the tank to grab a quick lunch, and there's a specific table that I've deemed Big Man University.
Yeah.
And the other day, it was pretty cool. You had Will Baker, you had James Thomas, and you had Cam Ridley, who's also back working on finishing his degree. And so you got three bigs from three different eras, did not play together. Each were very, very successful before coming to UT. Two of whom were very successful at UT. Will is going to be. And so just for a young guy like Will to be able to take class from just being around those guys and listening to their experiences is pretty cool.
No doubt about it. We're going to continue our conversation with James Thomas as we continue here from Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin, here on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield IMG College. We welcome you back to Longhorn Weekly. Our special guest during this portion of the program is James Thomas, who, of course, we mentioned one of only three Longhorns have 1,000 career points and 1,000 career rebounds throughout the course of his time. Special moments, and we were talking about this during the break, and I said, we'll kind of go down memory lane, and you said that hadn't normally been your deal, is looking back that much. But before we get to that, for folks who are saying, okay, so he's come back, he's working on the degree, you're on track to graduate. What this year you're going to walk in the spring? Is that the deal?
I walk in May, so May 22nd. That's the big day.
Yeah,
family will be down here, and it'll be a goal that I always reach for, and a lot of people at first when I first came down here, the goal wasn't reachable. But, over the years and my growth and, my mental growth especially, I knew it was attainable. So I came back on my time when I knew I was ready for it.
Well, and one of the things, I know the message that you have is really to impart it to young people about the need for education.
Yes.
And that the sacrifice you made from your family to work on your degree and your class schedule, your work at the Juvenile Center in Georgetown. Yeah. It makes for a full day.
It does. I know it is a challenge, but I've always pushed myself for greatness, so I'm not worried about it. It's just another mountain that I could climb and get over.
And toward that end, your wife really pushed you on this, right? She wanted you to really pursue this.
She was a huge influence along with my mother. But just like I said, I could have came back years ago. It just wasn't my time. I wouldn't have felt right. I don't think I'd have came down here and got the things done that I need to get done. So now that my life changed, it shifted, I'm focused on what I have to do.
When you're working toward this degree, is there a specific thing in mind that you'd like to do once you've got the sheepskin, once you actually have the degree in hand?
I want to get into youth work. Social work, special education.
And that's toward your degree plan anyway, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I want to be able to teach. I feel like all athletes, they could be good role models for the youth out there today. And we could just let them know that it's bigger than sport. Like, they have more to offer than just being an athlete.
Yeah, and I guess that's one thing that would you tell me if you agree with this, that basketball players, when they're living in the moment of their time on campus as a student athlete, they might not necessarily view what they're hearing from their coach as teaching. It's more coaching. He's my coach and all that sort of stuff. And then when you get away from it, you realize the life lessons as well as the regular lessons that are being taught.
I think a lot of these young players, they figure out their why. You have to know your why. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you wake up every day? Why do you hit the gym at 6 in the morning? Or, you know, why are you even in the gym shooting shots? So just know life is too short to be wasting time.
Did it take you a while to figure out your why?
It did. It did. It took me a minute, longer than others, but I figured it out, and I'm here now.
Why do you think that is? Why is that just the reason why I asked that is because when you played, you were one of the most determined people I ever saw around, and you had a mindset and a focus.
Right.
So it sounded like, other than what Coach Barnes and the staff were expecting of you and coaching you to do, you weren't going outside those parameters. You were going to do what you had to do, scoring, rebounding, be there for your teammates. But it didn't necessarily speak to the why that you're talking about.
Because I knew, like, in order for me, or in order for us to have that chance to win, like, I had to do my job. I mean, by me figuring out my why, like, it led me to a lot of different avenues in life as well. Starting a foundation back at home, and, knowing why I do the things I do. It's to help and empower the youth for lifetime success. Like, life is bigger than just throwing a ball in the hoop.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so James Thomas is our special guest. Now, coming up, James, I did kind of coax him into taking a little walk down memory lane because I got
it's all good.
I got some questions to ask him about his time at Texas. We'll continue with Longhorn Weekly from Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin. Longhorn Weekly continues in a moment. Up by Manic. Here come the Sooners. Reeves lobbing it in, and it's blocked. Oh, what a block! Royce Ham got in to block the shot from Alondis Williams on the lob. To the left side, Coleman, a step back three, good. Matt knocks it down, and the Longhorns are back in front 17-14. Back here on Longhorn Weekly from Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin. Our special guest during this portion of Lifetime Longhorn, James Thomas. The Matt Coleman three there was big, as obviously the one at the end of the game was the biggest shot of the game. But that all started with Royce Ham with that big block coming out of there. Yeah. Does it still do your heart good when you can see a player from the University of Texas elevate like that? Because you were quite a shot blocker yourself.
I mean, I didn't have the bounce like Royce had, but I, just like you said, I was determined.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always good to come back and see our younger guys picking up where we left off.
You were here from 2001 to 2004. And you were part of a special time during Longhorn basketball when they had 3 consecutive trips to the Sweet 16 and the Final Four run in 03. When you arrived on campus, and this is after going to Hargrave and then arriving there, when you got surrounded by T.J. Ford and Royale Ivey and Sid Mill Harris and Brian Boddicker and all the rest of the guys and Brandon Mouton and all those guys, did you feel that it was a special group, that it could be a Final Four type team?
It was a brotherhood. I figured that out when we went to the Garden and we played against Duke. Shane Battier, Jason Williams, Dunleavy, Carlos Boozer. We were freshmen. And we just got our rumps handed to us all across the board. And we came back, and that was the worst butt whooping we ever took. And we just made a pact. From that day forward, we started changing things slowly but surely.
Yeah. One thing that comes to mind now, you're too much of a gentleman to bring this up anymore, but I'm going to bring it up anyway because this is emblematic of James Thomas' determination to be there for his team. And I think you know where I'm going with this. This is a game in Stillwater.
Yeah.
And T.J. Ford is going out of bounds, and I think he's trying to save the ball, go in there.
Save a ball.
And collides with a lady, and the lady's husband took offense to it and kind of put his hands on T.J. Actually, he put his hands on his throat, if I remember correctly.
Yes. He tried to choke him.
He did.
He tried to choke him.
Out of nowhere comes James Thomas with gun number 1 and gun number 2, and he's going into this deal windmilling. You're ready. You were going to the defense of your teammate.
I was going to take homeboy out. I mean, I knew that Royale and Boddicker and Mouton, they could take care of themselves, and nobody's going to touch my point guard. He gets me the ball. I mean.
And what folks don't know, perhaps don't know, is that a year later, you guys go back to Stillwater, and she shows up, and she's got her little baby with her, right?
Yeah.
And her husband steps up and apologizes.
Yes.
So
we all had that same mutual feeling. I mean, it was just reaction. Just like, what would you do if somebody messes with your little brother? Are you going to go to his defense? Right. So
yeah.
I mean, the old JT came out of me then.
Yeah. Back then, it's a kindler, gentler JT. Now, you spent 2 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
You played for 4 teams. You played for Portland, Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Chicago. And your playing career both in the States and overseas, and stops along the way. What did you learn most about yourself and about life during all of that time playing professionally, whether it was at the highest level or at the smaller levels or even overseas?
When I sniffed the NBA, it was like, wow, I'm here. Like, all your hard work done paid off. My dream wasn't to be an NBA player. Basketball, I just used basketball as an outlet just to get me out of my situation. And everything just happened. Things happen for a reason. I do believe. I do have a lot of faith. I mean, God done prepared me for this moment now through my journey. I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot, too. I mean, being able to play 11, 12 years as a professional and, playing at the highest levels and, I reap the benefits from that. I mean, you do learn and you learn a lot.
Do you feel like you've kind of come full circle coming back home now, and even though it's a different you, so to speak, than back there to finish your degree, that this was the destiny all along that you'd get back here and that this would happen for you?
Most definitely, I knew it. I felt it. Just like I said, I do believe in a man up above, and I really do feel like he prepared me for this moment now, through the trials and tribulations, the struggles, the good times, the bad times. I'm a warrior, fought through it, and I'm here now.
It's great to see you again. I appreciate you coming by, JT.
Thanks for having me, my man.
James
I
Thomas.
appreciate you.
Here with us, here at Pluckers, the West Campus location. Coach Mark Reed joins us, and we'll take a look at the regular season finale coming up when Longhorn Weekly continues here on the Longhorn Network and the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield IMG College.